Welcome to the first and last post-audio recording of Sonic Colors. You heard me right. I usually don't do post-audio stuff anymore. I used to a whole bunch, but I've decided to stop doing that because I just think it's easier to re-record and actually get my live reaction to a lot of things. Though it's not really a reaction because I have played this game before. Sorry, let me get to the point. I'm kind of rambling. I recorded audio last night for this video. I recorded the video, and the audio was fine. I thought it was fine. I was a bit whiny, but, I think that was my real opinion. That was my actual opinion. I wasn't sugarcoating anything. I was pretty much talking trash about this world to no end, because what this world does, Asteroid Coaster, I love the idea of a roller coaster, by the way. I really like this section where you jump up and down, and the roller coasters will fall off eventually, so you have to continue jumping, and right here you're going to see that I'm going to jump into a Wisp capsule that'll jump into rings, or that'll get me into rings, and then I'll fly into another section. Stuff like that's really cool, but other than that, they do add a lot of very strange choices for gimmicks and just mesh them all together, and they're all gimmicks that I don't really like. This right here is the last Wisp I'll be getting, and it is Frenzy, the worst Wisp in the game, because he's pretty much Sonic, but slower, and he controls like utter trash. So what's the point? And a lot of people say, oh, all Wisps are trash, and I disagree greatly. I think a lot of the Wisps are actually really fun, and they can add some really interesting things. Platforming, but Frenzy's just there, and he has plot importance. He really does, but no, I can't deal with Frenzy. He's the one Wisp I will adamantly avoid. I will, if I see him, I will see if I can find a way past him. On occasion, when I am not forced to use Frenzy to get past those little blue thingies you saw, whatever I don't know what they're putting in, or what Eggman's putting in those, but you can actually slip past them. It's slow. It's really slow, but it's faster and more fun than using Frenzy, which says something, because it's not fast, nor is it fun to begin with. Frenzy's just a garbage Wisp, and I hate Frenzy with a passion. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't like this world. None of the other worlds really force you to use Frenzy, but this world, Asteroid Coaster, does. And it's not fun. I feel like I was talking about something. Oh yeah, post-recording. Elgato needs to fix their crap, because honestly, it's just so aggravating to record 20 minutes of audio, which, for me, recording audio is probably the hardest part of doing a Let's Play. Because and I know it doesn't seem like it because my commentary is not the best, but I am actually relatively strict about commentary. If I stutter, at all, I usually re-record. I've gotten over that to an extent, as you just heard, I stuttered, and I'm using this for the final cut of the video, so I've definitely gotten over that slightly, but it's still something that kind of haunts me. I still say, okay, I really didn't like that audio whatsoever, so I'm going to re-record the entire thing. So I spend about like 40 minutes when I have to re-record. It's a pain, right? And when I finally get that perfect audio, I'm like, alright, time to go to editing. And then when I hear the fact that Elgato, it's not a fault with my mic, it's not a fault with my mic, it's not me. This isn't my doing. It's Elgato software that on occasion will like repeat not even a syllable, like one frame of audio for like 5 seconds. So I go, oh, I really no, fix your crap, Elgato, please. And I know I'm very livid right now, and I can't help it, because there are reasons for this. Elgato software is literal garbage, and I know this has nothing to do with Sonic Colors, but it's the truth. Elgato software is trash, and they need to fix it. They need to fix it, and maybe I should update. And, you know, I would update my Elgato software every single time it said there's an update ready. But you know why I don't do that? Because if I do that, I have to fix all of my settings. Because what I do is I save the gameplay audio separately from the commentary. I died there. That's great. I save my, sorry, let me get back to the point. I save my audio for the game separately from my microphone audio. One time I updated Elgato, and I was like, okay, time to record. and I recorded a fantastic episode. And this was back during Breath of the Wild. And guess what? If you update Elgato, all of your settings just reset to the default. And I don't know why that is. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. But, whatever. Back to Sonic Colors. There's been a lot of new gimmicks that I've completely ignored. Right here, for example. Not the moon thing, but there's a Saturn-like planet, and if you run around them, this is just a weird mechanic in general, because once you run around the rings of the Saturn-esque planet, you'll actually somehow change the rings, or the rings will slightly change. There will be a level that's completely based off of it next, and it's just, I don't think it's an interesting mechanic, to be perfectly honest. I think it just makes you feel as if you're not going anywhere, you're not making any real progress, and honestly, it's pretty difficult to tell when something changes slightly on the Saturn rings, so I don't know. That's just not a mechanic I'm interested in. Also, you might have seen that there were kind of circle-type things that were filled with asteroids. Like, it was just a circle made out of asteroids, is what I'm trying to say. And you could homing attack onto asteroids, which is just okay. I mean, that's just, I don't hate that mechanic at all, but it's just kind of there to, by the way, there, I got caught slightly on these other mechanics, which I'll talk about in a minute. Up a lot in this world. But, like, the asteroids are just kind of there to be something to homing attack onto, and it makes it a bit more treacherous, and I think that's kind of cool. But, you saw that killed me right there, it was an insta-kill. These were in Eggman Land of Sonic Unleashed. I'm not sure if it was in the Wii version, but I know for a fact that they were in the HD version, so that's a thing. Essentially, if you stand on a platform, then you will activate those weird pusher thingies, and it will kill you instantly if you're standing in front of them. So they're usually in a 2D section. I shouldn't say usually, always in a 2D section. But also sometimes they're on a timer like you see right now. They're timed. And also, something that's kind of similar to Mario Galaxy, there's a few gravity mechanics here, and they mix it together with this, and I just don't think it's very fun or interesting. I think a lot of the other worlds did a great job of mixing together gimmicks pretty well, but I don't think this world does a very good job. Maybe that's because personally I'm not a fan of all the gimmicks that you use to begin with. I actually do not like them at all. But that's probably, again, just me, and it may be because I'm a stickler for visuals, and visually this world is so uninteresting. And maybe it's because I don't like the edgy style. That's one of the reasons I actually don't like Twilight Princess, like, that much. A lot of people say, I love it, and I like the dungeons. Other than that, the world, and I know I'm going off on a tangent, but it has something to do with Sonic Colors, trust me. I don't like the world in that game, and it could be because it's too dang edgy, you know, it's visually very, very uninteresting, and the same goes with this world, or this area world type thing. By the way, this level doesn't give you any rings in the beginning, so you have to be very careful. I died there, because I was being an idiot, but really, I say very careful, you don't have to be that careful. Homing attack onto things, you'll shoot up here, and there's a checkpoint. It's really not that bad. Something I actually really do like about this level, which we'll get into in a minute, like, less than a minute, sorry, a few seconds I should say. As you can see, there's cube blocks down there. You actually use different wisps to choose the path you want to go to. Right here, it's like, or cube. I choose cube, because cube is, personally, for me, faster. It's something I'd like to talk about. I was talking to a friend about this. As I've said before, I have a lot of friends that do not like this game at all. And I was talking to one of them, and he was talking about the wisps and how they're a massive pace breaker, and I can agree, Cube is a very pace breaker. I really am not a massive fan of Cube. He can do some interesting stuff like for platforming, but that's only on occasion, and I don't think they really use Wisp the best ability that they could use him to. I don't know what I was trying to say there. They don't use him the best, and once you shake your Wiimote to activate Cube, you stand still, turn into a block, slam onto the ground. And visually, sure, that's fine, but gameplay-wise, that does slow down the pace a little bit. But honestly, I think that's the only Wisp that really feels unnatural to use, other than Frenzy. Jesus. Frenzy's terrible. I'm gonna whine more about him later, but, anyway, Cube. Yeah, I think he's the only one that really breaks up the pace, like, entirely. Because Laser can do that. Cyan, Laser, whatever you want to call him, it definitely has a possibility to break the pace if you are not good at the game, but it's not that hard to keep the pace going with Cyan. If you have boost, you land on the ground, you can press B. I'm gonna call him Laser. I don't know why I was calling him Cyan. I guess that's because that's what my friend called him in the conversation we were having, but Laser. Use Laser. Once you shake, it's like it takes 1 second to shoot in any direction you want, and after that, sorry if that was a weird noise, my apologies. If you didn't hear that, then forget what I said, but you shoot in any direction you want, it takes like 1 second, so that slightly breaks the pace. It's not terrible. And then once you shoot, you will lose momentum. You will lose all your momentum, but to get that momentum back, it's very, very easy, and if you are good at the game, it's not hard to continue the momentum. So you can either land on the ground and use your boost, or you can land on the ground, press A really quickly, and then press B in the air, and that gets back your momentum because it's an air boost. So I don't think it's, you know, Laser is really like a big end-all be-all pace breaker. By the way, that's level right there. That's what I was talking about, the Saturn level where you're kind of just running around and the rings change every single kind of loop around, and I don't know, it's just kind of weird.
What is this place? Whoa, this is where he converts them into the strange, negative aliens with the freaky energy.
Oh, there you are. I thought I lost you for a second. Did you find anything interesting? Look at all of them. He's captured thousands of aliens.
Don't worry, we'll get them out.
Sonic, I haven't seen Yacker for a while.
You'll have to excuse me, buddy. I have a generator to shut down.
So now we know how Eggman is harnessing the Hyper Gohan energy. He's turning these wisps into evil frenzy wisps, and I guess that means if I call Frenzy an abomination, I'm not wrong. I really am not wrong. Anyway, Yacker's been missing. I completely neglected that fact that Yacker is just gone. Yacker's straight up missing, and I believe he's been turned into a negative frenzy wisp. So that's kind of neat, I guess. We'll be seeing Yacker for the rest of the game, and this is the last world, so that doesn't mean much, you know. Yacker left for like what, 3 worlds, I think. No, we saw him in Planet Wisp, so Yacker left for 2 worlds. So, you know, Yacker hasn't been gone that long, and honestly, Yacker doesn't add much to the story, so I don't miss him that much. But that's just me. By the way, a while ago I said the black blocks would come into handy later, or would be, I don't know, used later. What I mean by that is Frenzy can break through them, not only through those little blue things, but he can also break the black blocks. So if that's something you were wondering about, and I was talking about, and you're like, you never told me this? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hide it from you. Something you'll notice is that a lot of the gimmicks that I kind of whined about, like the stand on a platform and then like the little ball with the like lightsaber type things on the end that would twist around, that's a gimmick I don't like. It's actually being thrown in here with more gimmicks I don't like, which probably shows you one of the main reasons I don't really like this world all that much. It's a lot of gimmicks I don't personally enjoy thrown into one area, so it's like, wow, this just ain't a world for me, to be perfectly honest. The only thing that would make it worse is if Aquarium Park's boss was in this world instead. That would make me absolutely despise this world. But as of now, it's just kind of like, I whine and cry a lot in my original audio recording for this, my original commentary. But at this point, I've just kind of decided, you know, this world isn't terrible. It's just not my cup of tea. And I'm sure there are people out there that love this world. But, for me, I don't know. The only interesting thing to actually show in this world is the roller coasters, and even they're not used the best. Though I do like this section right here, where it's all about reacting on time, and you have to jump into the right rings to launch yourself to a different section, or to a different roller coaster before the other roller coaster falls off. And here you can between the roller coasters and jump to the right one, so you don't fall off and die. I think it's pretty neat. Also, the falling here gets a bit more dangerous. Not very, but slightly more dangerous. This right here is kind of a neat section, where you have to wait and, like, jump onto the other platform, smash into the spikes. Also, there's water floating here, which is something that a lot of games do, even when they're not in space. Like, for example, Super Mario Odyssey does this in its final area, and I don't know if you're in space there, but are you? Wait, no, you're... Spoilers. For anyone who hasn't played Mario Odyssey yet, you're on the moon in the very, very last area of the game. So, yeah, technically you're in space, so I guess it kind of makes sense that the water's floating, but I don't know so many video games just do that. Fun fact, you cannot use Frenzy in the water, nor, if you use Frenzy, can you jump into the water and continue using Frenzy. So I don't necessarily understand why they give you Frenzy in this section, and maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe there is, but as of now, I do not see one. So, if someone can correct me and call me a dingus, then go right on ahead. I want to be wrong, because I want to like this world, but I can't. And I don't want to be overly negative, because I don't absolutely hate this world. I really don't. I act like I do, and I'm whining a lot. But I really don't despise this world. I just think it's kind of meh. And for me, it adds a lot of concepts that I don't necessarily enjoy, and I just don't think it's that fun to play through. But for other people, if you like it, then more power to you. If these gimmicks are things that you enjoy, well then, that's really freaking neat. Super cool, go ahead. Love this world all you want. But it's just not for me. Also, something you might notice is I die a decent amount in this world, not because it's the last world, but there are a lot of bottomless pits here, and because it's a boost formula Sonic game, guess what? I run into pits a lot, because I'm boosting around, running around at the speed of sound, going really fast, and I don't react fast enough. This right here is kind of like another mini-boss. What you have to do is hit him 3 times, but he has this force field, so you jump into the force field, and you kind of float around him, and he has these little weird laser things floating around him as well. And you have to homing attack at the right time to not get hit by them and actually hit the ball itself. 3 hits, it's done. It opens up this little section that'll take you right to the goal ring. That's actually kind of a neat little boss, and I wish they used them a bit more, but they didn't, so that's fine. I actually do kind of like the little, the kind of bigger badniks that do actually pop up here and there that take more than 1 hit to beat. And I'm not talking like heroes, where, you know, a simple badnik takes a lot of time to beat up. I'm more talking like, oh, it's kind of like a mini-boss. That's pretty neat. Mega Man-esque. That's pretty neat. I like that. And I know I said this again and again, but I find it interesting. But without further ado, let's go to the boss.
You know, I don't like what you're doing to my friends in there. It's messed up. So I'm gonna mess you up. Yeah, that's right. I'm stretching. You got a problem with that? I want to be able to fully enjoy taking you apart without some pulled muscle slowing me down. Okay, now I'm ready. Of course, if you want to run away, please feel free. There's no shame in it. Well, maybe a little shame. You guys don't talk much, do you? Fair enough. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Something you might have noticed is this boss looks exactly like, well, not exactly, but very similar to the Starlight Carnival boss. Especially this section right here where we're on, this time, orange roads. Not rainbow roads, but orange roads. And, I mean, again, I can't vouch for these bosses. I can't vouch for these bosses at all, because they are slightly different recreations of bosses within the game that you've already beaten already, and I just don't like it. I don't like it. This boss is fine, though. It does do a few things that are different and interesting. For example, he teleports into a portal, or goes into a portal. And then asteroids can shoot out of the portal, and you have to avoid the asteroids, not get hit. That's pretty neat. I think that's a nice change on the 2D section. And also, you might notice that I don't get laser, but I do get rocket in this boss fight. That's because in the 2D section, the boss will actually hover above you. If you use rocket there, you can shoot into him and do about the same thing it would do. So that's pretty neat. I like how they use the wisps in the bosses in an interesting way, and it does like mega damage. I don't know, more damage than your homing attack do. So it makes the boss go by a bit faster, and you get color points for it. So like, just use the wisps. That was a little bit close. I almost didn't get the rocket there. I don't know. This boss isn't bad. I'm not going to say I hate this boss. It's just not that interesting. I think it's much better than the Aquarium Park boss, if that means anything. But I do hate that boss with a burning passion, so, yeah. It doesn't mean much. A lot of bosses, to me, are better than the Aquarium Park boss. And that should be it. It should be the end. Or not. Oh, wait, no, it is the end. I was like, wait, is that not the end? Something I've never really completely understood is the fact that they give you rings after beating the boss, and I think that's for score. I assume that's for score, but I don't see the point in it, because score is so pointless. And, I don't know. Just take score out of the game, please. I don't need score in any of my Sonic games. And they later do, I think, but I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, yeah, they reuse the same results screen as they did in Starlight Carnival. That's nice.
That was almost difficult.
Sonic, you did it!
Couldn't have done it without you, buddy.
Thanks. Hey, we both deserve some kind of reward.
Yeah, let's go to an amusement park or something.
All right, but one that's, you know, less evil than this one.
So, are all the aliens getting free?
Looks like it. Once the power went off, the locks vanished. I hope Yakker's okay.
I think he'll be fine. You don't think the weapon you were shot with still works?
Not without power flowing to it. I think we're all good.
That's what I like to hear.
Sweet! The tractor beams are gone. The planets are free.
Was there ever any doubt? I mean, really? Great job, buddy.
With all the generators destroyed, we can blow this joint and head home. We did it, dude.
We? I don't remember you fighting off any insane robots.
True. Well, good job to you on inventing a translator that allowed us to speak to the aliens and figure out exactly what we needed to do so we weren't running around the park looking like idiots. Oh no, wait. That was me.
Good point. Either way, we can get out of this crazy place and go home.
Looks like the aliens are happy to be going home too. I think we're in the middle of a party.
The middle? We are the party. I think we're their guests of honor.
Totally.
And with that, all of the main worlds in this game have been completed. All that's left is for that last 7th area world type thing. Don't count as a world. But that's enough of that. That will be the last episode. Next time, we are done. Kind of. I still have the multiplayer episode to do, but that will be saved for a later date when I can get someone to actually come play Sonic Colors with me that kind of enjoys the game, so I don't have to argue about the game the entire time. So yeah, that's a thing. But that's enough talking out of me. With that, that will be the end of this episode. Until next time. I would like to apologize at the very end of this episode because I tried my best and I still couldn't get the audio to be perfect, so I think it's a problem with my mic. I'll be messing around with my mic for a while, see what happens. Hopefully the next episode will not be like this. Thank you for being, I don't know, a cool kid. I'll try to fix it.